I am. I got my phone charged up a little bit, connected to the charger. I probably should have just did it from the spot to be the first place. This is basically me continuing the live stream where I left off. It was important for me to do this live stream and continue it again because I've learned with YouTube and this whole experience, if you don't end or start a new live stream, the other live stream will be open and it'll be an open connection until somebody closes it. Hey, Time Reveals, I appreciate you. Thank you for coming by. Thank you for this whole thing. I'll just try to make up the time that I lost in the last live stream. So basically, in the last live stream, what I was talking about before, Wi-Fi and other, things happen. I was talking about holding fast to your vision. I was given some wisdom by an old timer. Old timer just, sprinkled some vision on me, some wisdom on me about how in life we can get sidetracked, we can lose sight of where we are, what we're doing, what our purpose is, and we could wind up left field somewhere else, almost like the Vince Lombardi quote. Usually people fail to score when they take their eyes off the goal. If the goal is right there in front of me, I shouldn't be looking left, right, up, down, and all around. I should be looking at what's in front of me. When you know what you're in a particular situation to do, you should know what you're there not to do. Sometimes as people, we focus on the things that we're not in a particular situation to do, and we're so caught up on that. Like, for instance, there are people who are constantly telling us what we're doing wrong. Yeah, just here to be here for the wiseness. Thank you, Bumblebee Junction. I'm just making up the time that I lost. I was like 10 minutes on the last one. So, I'll try to make up the difference on this. I'm not going to go for an hour, maybe not even a half an hour on this, but just long enough to just make up the distance or whatever, the time, space, whatever. But I think you folks get where I'm coming from with it and whatnot. A lot of times we just get sidetracked and distracted by things that don't matter. What people may think, other folks' opinions about stuff, or social, trends, or the thing to conform. Thank you, click, appreciate it. I don't know if you just a click now, or you de-click or click or whatever. Thank you for dropping the like. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate folks for supporting. And yes, thank you, Time Reveals. I appreciate that as well. Yeah, you changed it. Well, hey, sometimes change is necessary. I've changed my screen name a couple of times. Like I said, but that's another story. We ain't getting into that. You get distracted. The thing is, like I had to be told by the old timer, you hold fast to your vision, because a lot of times people get caught up, in ego. They get caught up in pride. They get caught up in everything that doesn't matter to what they're trying to do. Be it a social mission, be it you trying to go back to school, be it you trying to raise your family, be it you trying to lose weight, be it you trying to become more spiritual, whatever it is that you're trying to focus on, be it you trying to make the world a better place, world peace, whatever it is that you're trying to do, find a cure for the, disease or ailment, feed kids in Africa, free people, or bring, democracy to a oppressed area, whatever you're trying to do. A lot of times people get sidetracked thinking about the background noise, the chatter, the gossip, the TMZs or the tabloids of the world, or focusing on the negativity. Not to say that the negativity, is not important to hear at times, to know certain things that are being said, but it's important to remember why you woke up this morning. It's important to remember why you do what you do. It's important to remember what drives you and motivates you and takes you to that next step, even if it's just one step, to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, to where you need to get to the ending of your goal. A lot of times we take time out and we lose sight of who we are and what we're supposed to be doing, because we're too busy paying attention to somebody who's making a lot of noise, or something that's taking up a lot of our time, a lot of our attention, or even our own emotions sometimes distract us from what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? And I guess you folks kind of, get that. Like I said, I don't have the specific examples of stories and stuff like that. Like maybe I should have more parables and stuff like that. But I speak in more generalized terms because, as time goes on, maybe I have more parables to teach you with, or things to really go through you with. But it's just, I wanted to share that piece with you. And I think folks understand and really grasp where I'm coming from, even if it's generalizations, because I do speak in, definitive terms and generalizations a lot of times. I need to get more into specifics and stuff like that. But I guess you kind of know, because we all live different lives where you wanted to accomplish something, whatever that may be, and like I said, people just have those obstacles, those goals, those challenges, be it you trying to lose weight, be it you trying to do certain things. It's like me, There's been a couple of times where, I've had issues and struggles with weight, and you get distracted on, how much is it going to cost to go to the gym, and do you got the right food? Are you going to be working? All these things that distract from the fact that you just need to be healthy, or people trying to go back to school, and you're trying to raise kids, and you're trying to be there for your husband or your wife or whatever the case may be, and you're caught up with all the internal things, which the external things, which are important, but at the same time, you know it's still a goal or something that you have in mind that you're trying to accomplish. I hope I'm making sense. But I didn't expect to do it this way, but like I said, I ain't gonna focus too much on that. I don't know. It's just something that was a dope conversation. I wish I could share with you in its entirety. Because we do get caught up in forgetting how to stay focused and having a singular vision for the things that we're trying to do. It's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to get distracted. It's easy to find yourself off kilter, off course. It's sometimes it's just as simple as taking a break at the wrong time, or paying attention to what somebody has to say when it's just an opinion. You letting somebody else's opinion determine how you feel about a particular situation. Or let somebody else just I don't know, influence take you away from what you're trying to do. I know for me, a lot of times I get things done when I'm not even worried about everybody else. Sometimes I get more done, when I'm in a space by myself, just focusing on what I do. I understand, man, 5,000 things to do, and it's every spring homestead and drive the balls up, missing meals down the road. Yeah, no, it definitely happens like that. You got so many different things that you want to do, Bumblebee Junction, and it seems like so little time. And one of the things I had to learn is that you focus on the things that are most important to do in each day, even if it's one or two or three things that you're trying to accomplish for that day. Sometimes we distract ourselves by trying to multitask too much. There's nothing wrong with trying to do, multiple things at one time, but there's nothing wrong with trying to do one thing at a time if that's something that requires your particular attention. Instead of me, like, it's like me being at work and I'm trying to work, but then I'm on social media, and then being on social media, I'm trying to pay bills, and then being on paying bills, I'm trying to keep up, with what's going on with the family drama or whatever. Eggman Rocks, appreciate you. Thank you for coming through. And that's just a for instance. I'm not saying that's what it is. I don't know about the great Mel Mel. Like I said, I haven't reached that level. I haven't reached that level where I'm great. So but I appreciate that though. Definitely, I appreciate that, Eggman Rocks. This is just me having a conversation and just trying to tell folks out there, if you have a goal, a dream, a vision, whatever it is, try to remember, keep reminders around you. If it's a picture, if it's a saying, if it's a conversation that you had, if it's a show, if it's a little momentum, something on your keychain, or writing somewhere, a journal, try to remember, what it is that you're trying to go after, what things that you want to accomplish. Because we forget things. Like with me, I like to write poetry and stuff like that. There's times I get so distracted that, you know, I may forget about writing my poetry, or maybe there was a project that I was working on, there's a book that I was trying to read, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes you just get so distracted, by, other stuff, just life gets in the way, and it's nothing wrong with life getting in the way. It's just being able to dust your shoulders off and shake it off and do what you have to do and come back at it and hit it strong and say, look, I understand that it's going to be turbulence. Just like you're on a flight, there is turbulence. If you can make it through that turbulence, if you can make it through that storm, you can find your way through. Sometimes in life, things are not always easy. It's not always sunshine and rainbows like they would have you believe out there. I mean, people go through things. You could go to a situation where you may lose money, you may lose sleep, you could lose family members, you could lose faith, you could lose your mind. But in the midst of that, it's good to keep going and keep pushing, to remember the dream, to remember the vision, to remember why you set out on whatever journey or goal you're trying to figure out. I don't know what people out there are trying to accomplish. Like I said, there's various things that people are trying to accomplish. People that are watching now, people that are watching the replay, some people that don't want to watch. Everybody has something in this life that they want to accomplish. And me, myself, like the old timer had recently had to remind me, you have to hold fast to your vision. You have to remember the dreams, the goals that you put in your skull, in your heart, in your mind. It's up to you. Just like even you folks watching, you have dreams, you have hopes. It's your job to remember that that's your dream, that's your mission, whatever it is, that's your goal. Those are the things that you set out to do. And sometimes it's not about your family members and friends. Sometimes it is about those things that matter to you and you keeping up that. Like with me, I have dreams, I have goals, I have things that I want to accomplish, and it's not up to anybody else. It's not anybody else's responsibility for those things to happen. It's like Shakespeare said, I think it was in the Merchants of Venice. I don't know if it was in the Merchants of Venice. The fault lies not in our stars, but in ourselves. So if we don't accomplish, if we don't press, if we don't push, if we don't go to that next step, that's on us. That's on us. I mean, I'm not to say the distractions are on us as well, but things happen to throw us off. Just like we're always fighting to get to that next step, there's always something fighting against us, an opposite and opposing force, is to be able to overcome that and weather the storm. And, sometimes it's about preparing, before the storm comes, before the opposition comes, being able to prepare your mind to strategize and understand that things may take a little bit more time than what you may think. It's like I said before, it's a marathon, not a sprint, you know. He did a live stream about that, and people have to remember that, some things may not happen as quickly as you may like them to happen, but if you stay the course, if you weather the storm, the journey may, be a little bit longer than you would like, but you'll get there. It's being willing to, fall down, 7 times and get up 8. Like they said, it's written, a righteous man fall down 7 times and get up to 8. It's about getting up more times than you falling down. It's about endurance, perseverance, going through the struggle, having faith, belief that the things that you're trying to do, the principles on which they are built, produce a certain result, almost in an agricultural sense, seed time and harvest. You plant the seed, you give it time, and you reap the harvest. Even if the harvest is not for you, maybe for those that's coming behind you, maybe for that next generation or your family, or people that you're actually trying to, move in a direction where, positive, upbuilding, uplifting things can happen. And it's not just pie in the sky. A lot of times people don't talk about the trials and tribulations that one must go through in order to accomplish the vision, the dreams, the goals that a person wants. You know, I mean, I just think about these things. It's important. That's why even on a live stream, midnight, here, in Brooklyn, I'm talking about these things because they're important to me. I understand that it's important to tell other people. I know you. I know you folks out there have dreams. I know you have goals. I know you have things that you think about, that you wonder and wish and hope that maybe how one day they can happen, and you're wondering why hasn't it happened yet, or why hasn't come, why hasn't it come, why hasn't my kingdom come yet, or what am I doing wrong? And sometimes you have to remember, sometimes it's not you, sometimes it's just the obstacles in the way that you just don't see, or the things that you have to be willing to just say, okay, you know what, maybe I just need to push forward a little bit more, or maybe I need to change and re-strategize or adapt, or evolve and open my mind to a different way of thinking, a different way of doing things. It's all relative and related in some way. Some people say I hate when I say it's all related, all connected in some way, but so many things is connected. Even like this conversation is connected to so many different things that people want to do. Just hearing these words, just having these thoughts, just thinking about these things. It's like somebody inspired me, each one to each one. These things that I'm saying could affect somebody somewhere in some way, regardless of your age, regardless of your background, regardless of, your political leanings or your sexual orientation. Everybody has a vision. Everybody has things that they want to accomplish. Everybody has things that they want to do. I hear you, but I can't live under those kind of pressures. Maybe it's my age. I stopped chasing the bigger, better, more, and aggressive than felt like. Well, listen, it's like this Bumblebee Junction. I hear what you're saying, and what I mean by people have dreams and goals and stuff like that. Your goal doesn't have to be, the bigger picture or the biggest picture. It could be something small. It could be something that matters to you. It doesn't have to be where you're changing the world. It could be something as simple as, what, I'm trying to make it to the next day. I'm just trying to be healthy. It could be something as simple as, what, I just want to finish up school, or something as simple as, hey, I want to keep my home safe, or, I want to try to be the best person that I can be each day, being a decent human being, whatever that goal is, it's the small details, it's the small steps, is this, they say the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step, and, just taking the first step in anything, so, like I said, it's not about trying to do, great and big things all the times, but doing the small things in an extraordinary way, as it's been said many times by, many scholars and priests and poets and stuff like that. You take the small things and you do it in an extraordinary way. I remember Steve Harvey The comedian turned talk show host was talking about one of his friends, that basically had a lawn mowing, a business or whatever, and that lawn mowing business yielded him, a couple of $1 million a year because he was good at cutting the lawn. And I would say 5,000 miles, and I want 5,000 more just to be the man who walked in. Yeah, no, definitely, definitely. I appreciate that, drone worship, and thank you for coming back. Thank you to Patch coming through. It's been a while since I've been to one of your streams, Patch, but I still see you out there. Technetic Beats, I appreciate you as well. People have visions, Bumblebee Junction, goals, dreams, things that they want to do, and it doesn't have to be the biggest thing. It could be something small, but you could do it in an extraordinary way. Whether you paint, whether you write, whether you sing, whether you dance, whether you're a drone enthusiast, whatever it is that you do, whether you're a political analyst, whether you're a painter, whatever it is that you do, it could be done. It could be done. Live stream, so I just added. That's funny. That's funny. That's funny. Drone worship. You didn't RP my last stream, but there was some buffering issues, some technical issues. Last young brother is the one you graced with me and your presence on the panel while at lunch. Oh, okay, okay. Well, I'm around, Patch. I'm definitely around. I mean, just hit me up and let me know. If you want to do a live stream or you want me to come up, I'm all for it, man. I enjoy the conversations that we have, man. You're always real. Yeah, yeah. You remember you was telling me about that. I remember you was telling me about that, Patch. I wish you get. I wish you better, man. Like I said, I hope you get better and whatnot. Back issues and always something. I even called out for work today because I had issues with my leg. My leg was all swollen up and whatnot. I was just trying to soak it in Epsom salt and whatnot. I have no idea what that means. Tech Beats. I have no idea. But I'm not going to go into all that. Yeah, but Patch, hopefully you feel better, man. Because back issues are no joke, especially as you get older. Especially, for men. I know women have back issues as well. For anybody, men, woman, child, whoever it is. Imagine we get ready to just make some show, doing some shows for the very first hour, trying to experience. Yeah, no. I got you. I got you. I got you, Patch. I understand. Definitely. I get where you're coming from. You got to pace yourself, man. You got to really just figure out what it is that you need to do for yourself. And that's funny that you say that, Patch, because my live stream before my last one, the first live stream that I did for yesterday, was talking about health and basically talking about how you got to take care of yourself and just basically take a seat. Sometimes we got to sit our happy behinds down and just take care of our health, because without health, what can we do? What can we accomplish in this world if we're not taking care of us? Can't even help your family or whatever. So that's what happens. I have no idea what that means, Technetic Beats. I have no idea. If you have another surgery, it would take 6 months. Yeah. Oh man, I hope it doesn't happen if you have a sixth surgery. You don't need you to have 6 surgeries, but I get it. You're going through some things, man, and thoughts and prayers with you, bro. Thoughts and prayers with you, because hopefully you heal up, get right, do what you got to do, and pace yourself, man. Just pace yourself, because it's no joke. Just dealing with the issues that we have, dealing with our health, especially with this life, the grind. It goes hard. It goes hard sometimes, And like I said, much love to you with that. Heal up, bro. Heal up, definitely, definitely, definitely. And Technetic Beats, I have no idea. Well, that's because I made up the word. You just made up the word, okay? You were trying to test me, so you like drone worship. You like coming in here, testing me and throwing certain things out there and just letting it be, And I get that. Yeah, I appreciate you or whatever the case may be. Do what you got to do. I guess you feel like that needed to be said. So thank you for that word, that made up word. Maybe we'll throw it in the dictionary. Yeah, hello in Japanese. Well, okay, okay. Well, why did you say you made up the word if you know Konnichiwa? Okay, you made up some other word. Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa back to you. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Appreciate that. But and what was okay. Yeah, yeah, Technetic Beats, man. Whatever floats your boat, man. Whatever streams your live, that's what it is. But for those people coming in, for those people wondering what I'm doing, I'm just continuing, the other live stream, and the message for this is hold fast to your vision. Remember your purpose. Remember why you woke up and the things that you really wanted to accomplish that are within your, competency, your realm or scope of actually, doing it. Deadhead, God bless us all. God bless you as well. Yes, God bless us all. Heaven help us all. We all need it. Hold fast to your vision. Hold fast to those things that, give you purpose, that make it meaningful, this life. Remember what you hear. What if it don't float your boat? Yeah, what if it don't float your boat? If it doesn't float your boat, Technetic Beats, then you probably shouldn't be on that boat, or you shouldn't be on that thing if it's not going to float your boat, but that's just what it is. Right now, just like I said about holding fast to your vision is about remembering those things that make life worthwhile for you, and remembering to do those things. And I mean, we get distracted, we get sidetracked. It is whatever floats your goat. I don't know how goats got in here. I just found one here, my liver cut out. Wow, that's deep. That's deep. There has 1/3 of your liver being cut out. Wow. Wow. It must be a rough situation. Heal up, heal up, get well soon. Wow, man. Wow. People go through some real things, man. But like I said, you be grateful for each day, man. It's a rough journey, man. People don't understand sometimes. There's a lot of folks that don't even make it into the next day. Just for us to be able to get into the next day. Cirrhosis of the liver. Yeah, kind of figured that. Cirrhosis of the liver. Wow. Wow. I bet you have a lot of stories to tell. But we're glad you're still here with us, Deadhead, and keep hanging on. Just keep striving and keep fighting. I mean, when you have a date with destiny, life requires only one thing of you, as the old timers told me, that you survive, Just us getting through the day, surviving, whether you healthy, semi-healthy, whether you're going through things, not going through things. It's a challenge. It's work just to live. People don't understand. It's work just to live, to be alive, to get through. Just getting through the next day is a grateful thing. I thank God for each day that I make it, even if I'm just complaining, because a lot of people don't make it. A lot of people didn't make it to this day. A lot of people didn't make it to yesterday. A lot of people won't make it to tomorrow. There's a lot of people that are alive today won't make it through to the next week. And this is not to depress you. This is just to say that, the presence, life is a gift. Life is beautiful. It should be celebrated, not too much, but to the point where you're appreciative, you're grateful, you're thankful for your family, for your friends, for people. Even if you don't have friends and family like that, it's still worth being thankful. There's one God, deaf, and what he says, deaf. Not today. Yeah, not today. Well, it's kind of interesting we're talking about that because we do have the man that refused to die in here, Patch. And I mean, I say to anybody, man, be grateful, man. And then not refusing. Refusing not to die. Sometimes it's also about refusing to not give up on life, itself. A lot of people are here. Yeah, I know. I got you. Got you live from the Game of Thrones. I got you. You're not wrong with that. Game of Thrones in the house. But refusing not to die sometimes is not just also about like I said, making it to the next day. It's about living life. I survived cancer 4 times and 3 heart attacks, 5 back surgeries. Yes, so you are literally a man who refuses not to die, a man who refuses not to give up. And that's a message behind that for all of us. Refusing not to throw in the towel. When things are rough. Sometimes when you refuse to die, it means you're refusing to allow others to limit your life. Exactly. We have limitations in life. As we get older, there's a lot of things that we have to give up on, and things that we can no longer do in the way that we used to do them. But at the same time, we still can live, and understand that we have limitations that are set by the universe and life itself, not by other people and their opinions of what we can or can't do. Sometimes people are willing to throw you away after you've had a couple of heart attacks, or, stroke, or, back surgeries, or, whatever it is, brain aneurysms and things like that, or you caught a disease. There's people willing to write you off, or, you lost a limb or something like that. There's people willing to write you off. And, who is anybody to tell you that just because you face hardships in life that you can't achieve, that you can't still do things? There's so many people that prosper that have struggles. There are people who are born blind that run circles around us that can see. You know what I'm saying? Our worst limitations is ourselves. Well, we all have limitations. We all have limitations. It's important to know your limits. But the biggest thing I think is to not let other people put arbitrary limits and guidelines on the stuff that don't exist. Things that ain't real, things that don't come to the sphere of our consciousnesses, or what our actuality is, as far as this life goes. Your opinion of me should not determine my life. And let me tell you something about myself. I can't do this. And then one to be honest with you, I'm not the smartest talent. I'm just stubborn. Well, it happens. It happens. You know, Pat. Sometimes we do get stubborn. You know, and that's just a part of understanding who we are as people. You know, what we need to work on, what our flaws and imperfections and things like that are. But the important thing is not to let somebody else define us and tell us who we are. Once you know who you are, then it's hard for people to break you. It's hard for people to define you. You know, if you know that you weren't born yesterday, then you understand that there's a lineage, there's a life that you lived. But if you let somebody else tell you that you were born today or born yesterday, and determine the time and date when you already have this stuff time stamped and videoed, then you have a problem. If you don't know yourself, if you don't know who you are and where you stand in this world, then you're in trouble. And there's a lot of people out there who are fighting to be normal, but they still know themselves. And there's a lot of people out there who are young or who are grown up, and maybe they don't know enough about themselves and they get easily manipulated. And these are things that happen. But the best thing is when you read a message for no reason. That's funny. That's funny. Technetic Beats. I got you. Like I told my doctors, I told the people who have spoken in front of them who are dying of cancer from lost hope. Exactly. I mean, the thing is, I say with that is not to lose hope, even if things seem dire. You do not have an expiration date. I hear where you're coming from, Patch. I mean, depends on what. Yeah. I hear where you're coming from. I hear where you're coming from. Like I said, you're saying there's no specific date, or maybe in the annals of the universe or stuff like that. You never know. All right. Hello to the people that's just coming into the room. Appreciate the lurkers, the stalkers, the trolls. I haven't seen the trolls in a couple of days. So maybe they chilling. I don't know. Shout outs to you. I miss you a little bit. Let me not call you on. You might run up on me. But all the peoples out there appreciate you. And I appreciate 7 people for coming into the chat. I actually got more people in the chat now than I had in the other one. I talked to some of the trolls. Thank you. I appreciate that, Patch. I appreciate that. My brother. And I'll talk to some of them too. But you can troll me for fun if you want. That's funny. People actually have been trolling me that I know. I've been trolled by Drone Worship and Lid did a couple other people. But I love it all. I love it all as long as we keep it respectful. I can take a good joke. We had a lot of Morpheus and Matrix jokes in the last couple of live streams or whatever the case might be. This stream blows. That's funny. With help, brother. Yeah, no, thank you, Patch. I definitely agree with that, man. I appreciate the help and whatnot. Nah, but I definitely get where you're coming from. What's going on, Kenna fam? I see you out there. I see you. Thank you for coming through to the stream. I appreciate the love and support. This second stream that I'm doing has blown by. The time has gone so fast. I mean, wow, I'm almost up on a half an hour. Where did the time go? Where does the time go? But for those people that just coming in, like I said, I was just talking about holding fast to the vision, understanding the things that have whole purpose for you, and knowing that there will be distractions, there will be obstacles. But when you understand what you came to do in this life, then you know what it is that you're not here to do. Let me see. Only half of the sheets you're getting on. Yeah. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. I listen. It's all good. It's all good, Patch. I appreciate it. This stream is too long. Some people would agree that this stream is too long. It is what it is. It's crazy though. It's crazy though. I mean, sometimes you're just having a conversation. Streams are going for 3 hours plus. I haven't yet to do a 3 hour stream, but here's the thing I'll tell people. If I ever do a 3 hour stream, I'll try to have a panel or something like that. I don't see myself, doing the stream and just be on here. Like, kudos to anybody that can stay on an 8 hour stream or 3 hour stream by themselves or whatever. I'm trying to get back to doing 8 hour streams again. 8 hour streams, man. You're talking about basically pulling a whole shift, an 8 hour shift. I might try that one time just to be like out there to say, wow, I did 8 hours or whatever the case. Never too long ago. Hey, that's what she said. Let me stop. Oh my God, funny. Let me stop. Or if you just kept doing a bunch of streams all day long, just to say, yeah, no, it's kind of funny. Technetic Beats, I've done that before. I think the most streams I've ever done in a day was maybe 4 or 5 or something like that. I could do that. I could do like an hour stream, do an hour stream. I don't know if I could keep going 8 hours back to back. At that point, I might as well, just do an 8 hour stream and stay on it. I kudos to anybody that could do that. I did a 5 hour stream with Green Bay Wacky one time, and I don't know how the heck we did a 5 hour stream. Maybe I took breaks in between. But see, that's the funny thing about when you're streaming with other people. When you're streaming with other people, you can take a bathroom break and say, all right, you take over or whatever, or you moderate the discussion. I leave my my piece open, and then they say their thing and I come back in, or let's say I just say, what, I'm gonna go take a nap. Y'all talks amongst ourselves. I would take a 20-minute nap, and then I would come back, and then if the stream is still going, we'd go from there. Oh my God, that's funny. I don't know. You just got to coordinate that stuff when it comes to live streams and stuff like that. But this has been a great, dope half an hour discussion. I don't want to keep folks too long. This is basically just to supplement what I missed in the first one. I kind of went over. I wasn't planning on doing a half an hour for the second live stream. But I appreciate you folks. Love you folks. Goose Folks Income, you have a question. Okay. What's your question before I go? I'm waiting. Do 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 do. Okay, if there's any question. Good night, Eggman Rocks. Good night to you. I'm in a relationship and I'm working long hours. How do I make it survive? That is a great question, and I didn't expect that question. How do you make it survive? Let me ask you, do you have vacation days? I mean, if you have vacation days, or communication is one of the ways. You tell them, Goose, something that's something. Okay, well, in a thing like this, 2 days off on the weekend. Okay, so what you tell your the person that you're in a relationship with, your significant other, is say, hey, look, I'm going to dedicate a certain block of time to you on these days, but these days I got to work, and you can contact me or text me or try to get in touch with me, but, it may not be the best, it may not be the best, OFC Nancy. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. You're talking to Nancy. The best way I've seen people do it is to not schedule a time, but let a person know in advance that if you're going to be working a lot for a certain particular period of time, if they can bear with you with certain things. And when you have those days off, I'm working till August and I'm done. That right there, I'm not saying I'm in a relationship with you, but if I was in a relationship with you and I was understanding, I would expect you to hold fast to that. So that means on the weekends you have time for the person, and if the person is understanding, they'll be with you and there for you on the weekend. But if you don't communicate with a person, it's harder to have these relationships, because what happens is now a person doesn't really know your schedule. A person doesn't know when you're going to be available or not available. There's too much inconsistency. There's not enough stability. So when you have stability of some kind, even if you can't be with the person as much as you would like to be, you have a situation where they know what's going on with you and what it is. You're just building trust with them. You have to be consistent. You have to be, the dependable. You have to be somebody, willing to, mean what you say, do what you claim, so that's how that situation works. Having a lot of open dialogue and communication. It's like, if I tell you I'm going to be somewhere, and I don't show up, or I don't honor my word, or you're not gonna trust me. I'm scared I'll lose her, but if I be devastated and then will not recover. Well, Goosebumps, if you start thinking about like you lose her, then you will. If you go into the relationship or the situation thinking that you'll lose a person, then you have the obstacles of the self-fulfilling prophecy that comes up. Now you have in your mind, okay, I'm going to lose this person because I'm not doing these particular things. And when you focus on basically what it is that you're not doing, then you forget to focus on what you should be doing. What you should be doing is communicating. What you should be doing is seeing how the schedules match up. What you should be doing is seeing, how you can really come together and build a bond with each other, as opposed to just saying, hey, things are not working out. I might lose her, this, that, and the third, and, she lives 39 hours away. Okay, fine. She can live 39 hours away, but you have an advantage. The advantage is that you've already built a rapport with her, and you've already told her, I guess, Tech, do you not see? Oh, okay, you're talking to Tech. I mean, the rapport, you already have a rapport with her. You're in a relationship and you're committed to each other. So if you're already in a long distance relationship, then you already have that advantage of somebody that's willing to wait to talk to you and see you. So it's just a matter of saying, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and this is how I'm going to do it, and honoring that. Just doing what you say you're going to do. Just being open and transparent with a person and showing up when you say you're going to show up. She loves me insanely, and so do I. It's just like the separation anxiety during like the 8 hour days. Well, I mean, there's ways you can do, there's ways around that. I mean, a lot of people forget about the old fashioned things that people can do. One of the things that you can do for her, or I'm saying her, but for that person that you're dealing with, is, yeah, you said her. So you can write a long email to the person detailing how your day was. You can send a snail mail letter. You can do both. You can do two and three part letters and saying, well, this is how I felt and this is what was going on in the time I didn't speak to you. And then you can send an email saying that, and then a snail mail, and you send gifts back and forth. There's ways to communicate with each other. People fail to realize that these situations and relationships that we go through, they fail because we forget, with all this technology and social media and stuff, how to actually communicate with each other, how to listen to each other. There's probably favorite things that your significant other wants from you that has nothing to do with you physically being present. But you could still be there and always have this person on your mind, and vice versa. It's just about paying attention and being attentive to, the needs, the wants, the likes, or whatever of that person. Molly 1K Valley. I feel like I'll marry this girl. I want that life. I just hate the obstacles. Well, that's something that you should express to her. You should express to her about the obstacles and talk about that and have conversations and schedule trips and plan things out together. I see you, Molly 1K Dolly. I appreciate you for being there. I mean, I've been in long distance relationships before, but it's a situation where you coordinate with people and you just say, hey, these are some of the plans and things that, we could do when we get together. These are some of the things that I want to happen. You got to get hella jiggy. Well, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But like I said, it's not hard to have a long distance relationship if you have communication, open lines of communication. It's not just meant to be uplifting, and I appreciate that. It is just to understand. Keep the lines of communication open and talk, and always ask questions, and you'll be fine from there. Goosebumps. So that's what that is pretty much. So that concludes the the dating the dating portion of the live stream, which is always cool. I mean, I'm grateful when you have questions. I'm not a relationship guru or anything, but if you read some of my romance poetry or some of my poetry about relationships, people are gonna think that I got something. Maybe somebody may have been watching some of my poetry videos. It's all good. I appreciate that as well. But like I said, I don't know everything about relationships or whatever. No. It's I know what you're saying, Tech Net Beats. But have a good night, Goosebumps. Thank you. I missed it. Did you tell the Nicole story? I did not tell the Nicole story, but what is it you would like to know about Nicole? In this instant, Molly Dolly, what is it you would like to know? Please tell me before I go. Because I see you, I see you asking the question or whatever the case. I think Nicole is not even thinking about me, and she's somewhere distant or whatever the case may be. It's a crazy story. It's a crazy story, but it's not the craziest story I had. I didn't even tell you about the one that was a devil worshiper, but that's another one. That's a whole other story. I think your brother would tell the story better. Yeah, he probably would. If I could get him on a live stream right now, my brother probably don't want to speak to me right now, but it is what it is. Yeah, but the Nicole story is not the one. That's not the one that's going to get everybody's attention. If I tell you the story about the one that worshiped the devil, that one would yeah, that one would gather your attention. Yeah, devil worship. Yeah, devil, or was she said? I don't think she said she worshiped the devil. I think she said she sold her soul to the devil. And this is after she was telling me that she wound up pregnant. So, that's a whole other story for a whole another time, a whole other live stream, or whatever the case may be. And if that person happens to be watching, which I doubt they are, I don't care. Like I said, I'm not worried about that. So yeah. But I've been through some things in my 37 years of life, going on 38 years this year. Oh my God. Like I said, my dating advice is don't date. I wouldn't say that, Molly Dolly. I wouldn't tell people not to date. I would tell people to date, I would just say people spend more time figuring out what it is that you want from life, understanding who you are as a person before you start going out there and trying to make a large go of it. A lot of times people don't know themselves and they go out there trying to find love in all the wrong places, or they try to find to fill a void in somebody else, be it you gay, straight, white, black, religious, or otherwise. You should be able to know who you are and be complete in yourself. Not that, oh, every time you turn around you have to be in a relationship, because I wouldn't be able to function if I had to be in a relationship every 6 months or every year or whatever the case may be. I haven't been in a serious relationship, or what I would call a serious relationship, since 2013. And to be honest with you, I've never had a relationship that lasted more than 7 months, 6, 7 months. I remember an old timer told me one time. He said, "Look," he said, you didn't have a relationship. You had acquaintances." So it's believe me though, but a lot can happen in 6 or 7 months. You can have like a little whirlwind romance or something like that. But I've never been with a female for a year straight, all the way through. So, hey, it happens. I have my fair share of things. So I bet I was engaged for 5 months. Yeah, well, listen, it happens. It happens, Molly Dolly, saying, um, being engaged for 5 months, like I said, a lot can happen. A lot can happen. People don't realize you can have a lot go down. And I like the saying, they say anything can happen in 48 hours. So imagine 6 months, 5 months, 7 months, 8 months, whatever, 10 months. There's a lot of people out there though. Like I said, I was told I'm too cold. Well, I'll give you this, Molly Dolly, and this is not to say that you're cold. I see you're somebody who is determined. You're somebody who's about your work. You're somebody who's gonna, drive through and accomplish things. And that could come off as cold to some people who may not understand you and may not be willing to go through the grind with you. But I don't see you as a cold person or whatever. I think you're somebody who's determined, somebody who's, focused and driven, and sometimes people may take that the wrong way. I mean, so if you were engaged to somebody, I wouldn't call you cold, it makes me guarded. Yeah, I would say you're more guarded. Being guarded is not being cold, it's being cautious. I mean, because in this life, man, with all the stuff that people go through, all the lies and the deceit that we could tell to each other, people use people, I mean, so you have to be guarded. You have to keep your guards up. You can't just let your guards down. And that's why, hence, some of the stories that I have, especially the one with the devil worship, believe me, like I said, it gets real. It gets real. What's going on, Smash 510? Cheers. Appreciate you. Yeah, trust is important. And a lot of times when it comes to trust, we're too trusting with people sometimes, in relationships. You have to be differentiating those who may not like it, don't care. That gets so difficult. Yes, it does. It gets difficult sometimes, Tech Beats. I definitely agree with you on that. But I agree back with what Molly Dolly said. Cheers, bro. Thank you, Smash 510. Appreciate you for being here. You know, um, you have to be careful who you trust. And sometimes we give our love and our trust away to people without allowing them to earn it. I mean, and that becomes a problem. A lot of times we don't realize that it starts with us. If you're too trusting, if you're naive in a situation, if you don't really pay attention to who people are when they're telling you who they are, a lot of times that could be a detrimental thing. It was a quote from this black director, Bill Duke. He says, "I'm not mad at people for showing me, who they are." He said, "I get mad at myself for not realizing it sooner." And I'm just paraphrasing that. Sometimes if you listen closely enough, people will tell you and show you who they are. Yeah, Smash 510. That's Tech Beats. He's making up words. So yeah, I don't know. It's all good. Maybe that's a new rap song coming out. Technetic Beats coming out with a mixtape right after this live stream. Stay tuned. Go to his channel. It's coming soon. Yeah, but Molly Dolly, that's just it with the whole dating thing. I mean, as far as not dating, I wouldn't tell people not to date. I would say it's about how far you go out on a date, because the whole, sleeping with each other on the first date sometimes is more common than ever before in this generation. Sometimes people just hook up. If you got Tinder, swipe right or whatever the case may be. There's documentaries and stuff that talk about stuff like that. We have like a hookup, mentality of society. And if you don't ever plan on being serious or having kids and all that stuff, then I understand. But if you're somebody that's really looking for love, want to get married, or really searching for something, then you have to change your approach to dating. You have to be somebody who's understanding of courtship. At least go out on 3 or 4 dates before you try to have sex with somebody, before you know try to consummate the relationship. If you're trying to be serious, I don't date online after watching Catfish. Well, you seen what happened to the Catfish guy. The Catfish guy is even in trouble because I think there was some kind of sexual scandal, that came up with him. So like I said, catfishing is real. It is real. Believe me, I can attest to that. Have I been totally catfished? No, I've been fake catfished before. I've had people tell me stories or whatnot. I remember there was this one story about this girl who I met on back in the day on Yahoo, and we were just talking or whatever the case, and she told me how she looked, and when I met her, it was totally different from what I expected, and I was supposed to take her to meet my family and whatnot, and I wound up just taking her around the block for 2 hours and just putting her back on the bus and going my way. So it's kind of crazy, but let me get off of here because I already spoke for too long. I said too much. But spread love. It's the Brooklyn way.